Okay, picture this. You're there, right? We've probably all done it. That moment you walk into some kind of health or fitness session,
Uh-huh.
could be Pilates, maybe Tai Chi,
Yeah.
maybe it's just called, I don't know, general movement.
Yeah, familiar scene. The mats are out.
Exactly, the mats, maybe some vaguely calming music in the background.
Uh-huh.
And you're sort of steeling yourself for the usual commands.
With the standard drill, people kind of know what to expect, or they think they do.
Right. But then imagine the instructor, let's use this example, Terence Hughes. He does something totally different.
Okay.
He just looks around, makes eye contact and asks quite genuinely, why are you here?
Wow. Okay. That's unexpected.
Isn't it? Then he follows up, what would you like me to focus on? And maybe adds, any requests. I mean, can you imagine the reaction?
There's probably silence, maybe some awkward shuffling.
Total silence. Maybe some confusion. It's so far from the usual, okay, let's start with warm-ups, 3 sets of,
It immediately breaks that pattern, doesn't it? That expectation of just being told what to do. We're really programmed for instruction in those settings.
We really are. Because, observing this kind of thing, you see a lot of blank looks. Maybe someone clears their throat.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the idea that you actually have input right then and there feels almost alien.
It really throws a spotlight on how automatic that follow the leader response is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it also reveals that sort of hidden power dynamic, right?
Yeah.
The instructor dictates, the participants follow.
Exactly. The usual focus is so often on the external stuff like, are you doing the pose right? How many reps? Rather than asking about the person's reason for being there.
But then it gets even more interesting. After that pause, Terence might say something like, okay, you have permission to move however you like.
Oh, wow.
Just like that. No rules. Just explore. In a class, it feels, well, almost provocative.
It's like he's intentionally handing control back, saying, this is your time, your body.
Yeah. It's an invitation to reconnect with why you even bothered to show up.
So what happens then when people get that permission?
Well, it's a real mix. I mean, some people actually laugh nervously, like, is this a joke?
Right. But uncertainty.
Others just freeze. Absolutely stock still. You can almost see the gears grinding, the what does he mean thought bubble.
That makes sense. Freedom can be daunting when you expect structure.
And then you get the hesitant questions, really? Anything? And eventually, a few people might start to, well, just move a bit, tentatively.
And those reactions, the laughter, the freezing, the questioning, they're incredibly revealing in themselves.
They really are. What does it say about us, about our relationship with, I don't know, authority, or just being told what to do with our own bodies?
Or even our relationship with play and exploration as adults. That initial response to just move tells you a lot. Does it feel like opportunity or like pressure?
That's kind of the whole point, isn't it? We rely on these methods, Pilates, Tai Chi, whatever routine. They give us structure, a plan. Seems safe.
They provide a map, so to speak.
But sometimes that map, well, it doesn't quite match why we actually walk through the door. We might be there trying to shake off stress or needing to feel a bit of autonomy in a crazy day or even exploring bigger questions,
And the prescribed movements, the method itself, might not directly address those deeper, often unspoken needs.
Exactly. The method is the how. It's the structure, the exercises.
But the meaning, the why you're there, that's deeply personal. It's internal.
Right. You feel the meaning. It's not something the instructor can just hand you along with the instructions for a perfect squat. It comes from inside.
It's unique to each individual in that room.
And navigating that difference, that gap between the external method and the internal meaning, that seems to be where this SAMBA protocol comes in.
Precisely. It's presented as a potential bridge between those two things.
SAMBA. So we're not talking about the dance here, although imagining that class suddenly bursting into carnival samba is quite a picture.
No, not quite that, though rhythm is involved. The Sambay protocol is described as having structure, yes, but it's a kind of enabling structure.
Enabling, how so?
It's designed specifically to allow for, even encourage, individual freedom and exploration within that structure. Think of it like maybe jazz improvisation. There's a basic chord structure, but the musician is free to explore melodies on top of it.
Okay. So it's not pure chaos. do whatever, but it's also not rigid like step 1, step 2, step 3.
Exactly. The sources mention things like using rhythm, fundamental human movement patterns, and something called cross-lateral play.
Cross-lateral play, like moving across the body's midline.
Yes, movements that involve coordinating both sides of the body, crossing that imaginary center line. These elements provide a kind of basic vocabulary.
Got it.
But the key concept seems to be creating what's called a permission space.
Permission space. I like the sound of that. It feels intentional.
It does. It implies a space where it's explicitly okay to explore, to tune into your own sensations, to rediscover your body's innate way of learning and moving.
That phrase, learning intelligence, also popped up. What's that about?
It refers to that inherent capacity we all have, our bodies and minds working together to figure things out, to adapt, to learn through movement and sensation. Samba seems aimed at tapping back into that.
And you mentioned simplexity. Sounds a bit contradictory.
It does, doesn't it? Simplexity. Simple and complex.
How does that work in this context?
Well, the idea seems to be that the underlying structure, the basic rules or elements of Samba, are quite simple and accessible, easy to grasp.
Okay.
But, and this is the key part, that simple foundation is intentionally designed to allow for and even invite complex, varied, and highly individual movement experiences to emerge from it.
Right, like your jazz analogy. Simple chords, complex solos. Or maybe like cooking. A few basic ingredients and techniques can lead to endless unique dishes.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Simple base, complex expression. The simplexity allows the structure not to be a constraint, but a launch pad for personal exploration.
So let's bring this back around. For someone listening, maybe thinking about their own yoga class or gym routine.
That original question Terence Hughes asks becomes quite relevant. Why are you really there?
Yeah, beyond the surface goal, getting fitter, more flexible, whatever it is,
Yeah.
what's the deeper thing you're looking for?
Is it about feeling less stressed, more grounded, maybe feeling more alive or creative in your body? It's an invitation to look inwards.
Definitely. And maybe here's something practical to try and experiment.
Okay.
Next time you're doing any kind of movement, could be a class, could be just stretching at home, consciously try letting go of the rules just a little bit.
So less focus on perfect form, maybe.
Yeah, or less focus on achieving a specific outcome. Just explore. See what movement feels interesting or needed in that moment, and really pay attention.
Pay attention to what arises.
Exactly. Physically, sure,
Yeah.
but also emotionally, mentally. What happens in that space when you give yourself that little bit more freedom, that permission?
It's about valuing the internal experience, the felt sense, as much as the external appearance of the movement. What does it feel like, not just what does it look like?
It's trying to sense what's actually going on behind the label,
Yeah.
behind downward dog or bicep curl. What's the core experience for you?
It fosters a more personal, more embodied connection to how and why we move.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
It leaves us thinking about that tension, doesn't it, between the structure and freedom.
it really does, not just in exercise, but, well, everywhere. In learning and creativity and life generally.
Where do we need the method, the guide rails?
And where might letting go of the rules a bit, giving ourselves that permission space, lead to something unexpected, something valuable?
Something to chew on, perhaps? Where could a little more exploration make a difference for you?